Nestled in the heart of Tampa, Florida, there lies a neighborhood rich in history, culture, and a spirit that has preserved through time. This is Ybor City.
We came here for the price, first of all. It's kind of, where can I find some cheap space to work out of? Where the architects, the artists and writers, where are they hanging out? And, it was Ybor.
We need to be here. We just knew right away.
This is the story of Ybor's rise, fall, and renaissance, told through its history, architecture, and the people shaping its future.
I don't think any developers ever come to us as an architect and said, I really want to promote the history, I really want to tell a story.
If it was any other developer, it would not look the way it looks. I mean, that's full brick. Same way they did it 100 years ago on the rest of the buildings in Ybor.
And that's something as an architect, you go, wow, you sink your teeth into that.
Welcome to Ybor City, Tampa's historic heart, known for its cigars, immigrant heritage, and vibrant culture. Once a thriving industrial hub, today Ybor stands as a living testament to a community that built a legacy. In this documentary, we'll explore Ybor's journey from prosperity to decline and its modern-day resurgence, a story of resilience, tradition, and transformation. Founded in the late 1800s by Vicente Martinez-Ybor, a Spanish cigar manufacturer, Ybor City began as a 40-acre site outside downtown Tampa. Immigrants from Cuba, Spain, and Italy soon followed, turning it into a global center for cigar production, making hundreds of millions of cigars annually. But cigars were just part of Ybor's character. The neighborhood was a cultural mosaic, known for its diverse people, vibrant architecture, and even organized crime. This melting pot of cultures led to unique foods, such as the deviled crab and the original mixto, which we now call the Cuban sandwich. It was also a quirky place where wild chickens roamed the streets, adding to the neighborhood's charm. These unique elements laid the foundation for Ybor's future, preserving its identity amidst the changes to come. By the mid-20th century, the cigar industry had collapsed as cigarettes became preferred, and many immigrants moved away. Ybor's decline began as buildings were abandoned and businesses shuttered. Urban renewal projects in the 1960s and 70s failed to revitalize the area, and by the 1980s, Ybor had shifted from an industrial center to a nightlife district. The neighborhood's identity was fading, but new energy was on the horizon. In the early 2000s, Ybor began its revival. Investments in infrastructure, including the Tampa Trolley and Central Ybor, spurred the transformation. Cultural landmarks like the Columbia restaurant remained central, while the cigar industry found new life in modern forms. Ybor was slowly returning to its roots, but with a fresh, forward-looking energy. Today, Ybor City stands at the crossroads of past and future. A key contributor to this rebirth is Chansey Architecture and Design, a firm that arrived in Ybor 35 years ago. Chansey has completed significant renovations of landmarks like Ybor Square, the Cuban Club, and the Italian Club.
Architect wants to be cool with his space, but he's got to be cheap when you're starting out with 3 people working out of a 2-bedroom apartment. So that's why we got here.
We ended up going around Channel Side back in the day when it was nothing. All of a sudden we come over to this, wonderful little area, and we didn't quite understand what Ybor was, but it was historical and it was just exciting. We need to be here. We just knew right away.
The first building we were in, that's where we all kind of cut our teeth in Ybor City. I mean, rainstorm would come, it would leak. Those days were like whatever it takes. It was like whatever it takes. Nothing was going to deter us. It wasn't like in this luxurious building, with design. It was kind of that creating of what we are today. The next moment when we went across the street and built the other building, we were rocking and rolling. Those were good times.
We were just starting to grow out of the corners and needed a space. As a developer at that time, I wanted to build our own building and purchased this lot and built 19,000 square feet on 4 floors. And we were, rocking and rolling at the time we moved in.
Walt Chansey and his firm were selected to design the Casa Gomez and Casa Marti buildings.
When you go down 7th now and you see these buildings that are 100 years old and you see the detailing, a comment nowadays is, we can never do that again. We can't build buildings like that again. We can't get the detailing like that again because it just costs too much. Well, we have that exact same detailing on Marti. You know, we were able to do it, thankfully, because Daryl's a fantastic client.
You know, the introduction was just kind of natural. Here we were on the corner of a site that he liked. We'd already done a building. We'd done a lot of the historic renovation and restoration for other people, new buildings, and here I am. I built my second office building, and he wants to do the same. So I think it made a lot of sense.
You'll see other developers put the thin brick, you know, directly applied to masonry. No, that's full brick. Same way they did it 100 years ago on the rest of the buildings in Ybor.
Throughout the common areas, we partnered with Ariel, who Daryl uses quite a bit, to really bring the history of the naming of the buildings.
His story about his love of the history, that was different. I don't think any developers ever come to us as an architect and said, I really want to do this right. I really want to promote the history. I really want to tell a story.
Every apartment number has a saying written by Marti underneath it. The lobby has a whole storyline of Marti coming here and his history in Ybor and what he brought. Ybor wouldn't be Ybor without Marti. It's more than just a building and a name on a building, but it's really the legacy, the true reason we have Ybor today.
And that was very cool. When he talked about the naming of the buildings and the history, and that he wanted to celebrate those people, he wanted to celebrate the buildings, he wanted to celebrate Ybor, and that's something as an architect, you go, wow, you sink your teeth into that.
But Casa Gomez and Casa Marti are just the beginning. The Gasworks development will further bridge the gap between Ybor's rich history and a dynamic future.
Everything's moving. Everything is moving great. Those that started like this and first phase over Gasworks, they're showing that this is, you know, people want to be here. It was great to have Central Ybor here, but when they built it as just entertainment, still not having the people living here, it just didn't quite work. It was great for the tourists, but we didn't have enough people. Now we're getting that synergy of people coming in.
It's that neighborhood of people knowing people, people going to the local grocer, people going to the local restaurant. It's still bringing what Ybor was back again.
Especially with the Gasworks. And that connecting to downtown is probably going to be one of the most significant pieces of this overall Tampa development, similar to the way Water Street was to downtown.
With like La Union and a couple other, you know, types of developments that are starting to happen. It's just breathing a little more space into this, you know, wonderful city, still very complimentary. Yeah, I can't wait till I can see people out there, you know, on their, you know, balconies or, you know, in the yard. So it's coming. We're about ready to cross that line, and it's going to be really cool to see that energy light up there.
As we look at Ybor growing from Gasworks to the things that will be there, condos, the high-end apartments, the let's say the market rate apartments, you know, we need to get a mix of everybody here. The workforce needs to be here, the young professionals, and we need to find a living opportunities for everybody here. And once we can do that, then the fabric, in my opinion, will not change, because that's who lived here in the first. We always think it was just the cigar workers, but it was the cigar owners, it was the merchants, it was the bankers, it was the restaurateurs. They were all here. It was a full mix. And getting that full mix of that kind of people back to Ybor, living full time, will make it successful for sure, in my opinion.
Ybor's journey is one of resilience, weathering decline, embracing change, and reclaiming its place in the heart of Tampa. Today, it blends the best of the past with exciting new opportunities. Ybor City's legacy lives on, a symbol of history, community, and innovation. It is a place where the past meets the future, and its story is still unfolding.
You know, this is our historic district, Tampa. This is one of the most significant areas. There's West Tampa, and there's plenty other places that you can call a fabric micro community within, but this history is just, you can't change it. And what you should never do is try to change it too much.